vaginal wall.
That's how the episode opened. I hope it picked it up. I hit record, I think, as soon as you said vaginal wall.
That would be amazing.
All right,
perfect timing.
Story time.
Oh,
Again, story time.
On me. Let's do this.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
So before we start with this story, you need to know. What I did, I was researching different law cases throughout history, and I ran across this one, and I was like, well, that's very interesting. But what you need to know is that in the 1980s, there was a huge influx of parents claiming that their children's preschools were satanic. So,
Rad.
So, without further ado.
Hell yeah, I like how you're starting out, man. It's beautiful. Look at that butterfly.
In 1983, Judy Johnson reported to police that her son had been sodomized by a teacher at her son's preschool, the McMartin Preschool in Manhattan Beach, California. What a way to start a story.
That's what I was about to say. We're already off to a great start.
Miss Johnson alleged that Ray Bucky, a member of the staff at the preschool, was behind the abuse.
Bucky. Imagine that.
Ray was the grandson of Virginia McMartin, who had founded the school decades earlier, and he was the son of Peggy Bucky. Miss Johnson's belief that her son had been abused began when her son advised her that he was having painful bowel movements.
Can I just say, real quick?
Yeah.
I'm real jealous of the last name Bucky. Now let's keep it going.
So her son said, "Mom, it hurts when I poop."
Well, yeah.
And so, reports after this point are disputed, but it is widely believed that Miss Johnson's son confirmed the abuse allegations. All right, so...
As one would think.
So, in addition to the initial allegation, Miss Johnson also alleged that people at the daycare had sexual encounters with animals.
God damn it.
She also said that Peggy Bucky had harmed children physically. And... here's the kicker. Ray Bucky was able to fly.
Are you talking about the guy that was behind all of that?
Yeah, she said the guy that...
he could fly, huh?
The guy that molested her son was able to fly.
Trust me. I've seen him do it.
So Ray was questioned, but was not prosecuted at the time due to lack of evidence. The police sent a form letter to over 200 parents who had students at the McMartin school stating that their children may have been abused and urged the parents to question their children. All right? So several hundred children were interviewed by the CII, the Children's Institute International, which is a Los Angeles-based abuse therapy clinic run by Key McFarland. Okay?
All right.
So, the interviewing techniques used during the investigations were highly suggestive, and many of the interviewers urged children to pretend and speculate about the events that had happened.
Well, that is, what an awkward job to have, first of all.
By the spring of 1984, it was claimed that 360 children had been abused at the school.
And they're just finding out about it?
No. This happened. This was happening in real time in the 80s.
Oh,
yeah. It took a year for them to find. Yeah.
Wow.
So, later research revealed that the methods of questioning were so suggestive, the allegations were labeled as false.
Wait a minute. So, the evidence that they had
so basically
was
the interviewers...
too suggestive.
No. The method of questioning was suggestive. So the police would be like, "Who touched you?" And the kids would be like, "No one." And they said, Wrong, Ray touched you. And then the kids would be like, yes, Ray touched me.
Oh my God.
Because they're fucking kids.
I understand that, but
Yeah.
did Ray, obviously Ray did touch a kid, right? Obviously.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
So,
I need to just pay attention.
many psychologists agree that the questioning itself may have led to false memory syndrome among the children that were questioned. Only 41 of the original 360 children ultimately testified in the grand jury, and fewer than a dozen testified at the actual trials. Okay, so
Gotcha.
some of the accusations were described by the jury as bizarre. It was alleged that in addition to being sexually abused, that the children saw witches flying around the school.
Mm-hmm.
They had traveled in a hot air balloon, and that they were taken through tunnels located underneath the school. When shown a series of photographs, one of the children identified actor Chuck Norris as one of the abusers.
As soon, and I know this is in California, but as soon as you mentioned hot air balloons and underground tunnels, I started thinking of fucking England. The whole Chuck Norris thing kind of made me laugh too.
Yeah, they showed kids pictures of people that worked at the school and threw in like random
Chuck Norris.
Random pictures, and one of the kids said Chuck Norris.
So these police are just fucking with these kids right now. Much.
There were also claims of orgies at car washes and airports.
That would be a really rad car wash, as long as they weren't kids.
And the children spoke of being flushed down toilets to secret rooms where they would be abused, cleaned up, and then given back to their parents.
I swear to God, this is like a Roald Dahl book. Roald Dahl.
This is like Matilda.
It's like fucking Willy Wonka or some dumb shit. Yeah, we got flushed down the toilet.
That is like Roald Dahl. Who, might I add, is a very good author, honestly.
Real fucked up, man.
Like, honestly, dude, even today, I love his books. They're very fucked up.
But they're good. Because they're fucked up. That's why they're so good, honestly. In my opinion.
So a lot of the abuse seemed to center on the alleged tunnels underneath the school. Mm-hmm. Several excavations turned up evidence that other buildings had been on the site before the school was built, but no evidence of any tunnels was found.
They disappeared.
That's what it is.
It's the overwhelming power of Satan. See, that's the best thing about Satan. He actually gets things done.
Oh, okay. All right. So, on March 22nd, 1984, Virginia McMartin, Peggy Bucky, Ray's sister Peggy Ann, and teachers Mary Jackson, Betty Rader, and Babbitt Spittler were charged with 115 counts of child abuse, which was later expanded to 321 counts of child abuse.
I may have laughed at the wrong time.
Involving 48 children.
I don't think child abuse is funny.
Clarify.
I thought the name Spittler was funny.
Babbitt Spittler.
It sounds like Hitler reincarnated.
In the 20 months of preliminary hearings, the prosecution presented their theory of sexual abuse, but the children's testimony during the preliminary hearings was inconsistent. Michelle Smith and Lawrence Pasder, who had written a book that is now discredited regarding satanic ritual abuse,
well, damn,
met with the parents and children involved with the case, and were believed by the initial prosecutor to have directly influenced the children's testimony, adding religious and satanic elements to the abuse allegations.
I'll tell you one thing. If the satanic church is discrediting your work, you should probably start back at the drawing board.
So in 1986, District Attorney Ira Reiner called the evidence incredibly weak and dropped all charges. Dropped
She like a surfer.
Ira Reiner.
That's incredibly weak, man.
Dropped all charges against Virginia, Peggy Ann, Mary, Betty, and Babbitt. Peggy, Bucky, and Ray Bucky remained in custody awaiting trial. Before the initial trial opened, though, Judy Johnson, who had made the initial claims of abuse,
God, I love that name,
was found dead in her home due to complications from chronic alcoholism.
Oh, shit.
Johnson had admitted to her lawyers that she was mentally ill, but the lawyers chose to hide this fact by the time the first trial started in 1987.
Truly. I just feel like she had a thirst she couldn't quench.
The trial officially began on July 13th, 1987. During the trial, the prosecution had presented 7 medical witnesses. This is one of my favorite parts.
Whoa.
The defense attempted to rebut them with several other witnesses, but the judge limited them to one witness in order to save time.
Wow. Sorry. I know this is a kid thing, but the only one of them.
This is the better part. Their final argument was that since they had 7 experts and the defense only had 1, they obviously had more evidence.
Oh, wow. That's like, dude, that's like Trump saying, let's not test any more people for corona, so the numbers of corona will go down. That's exactly what that is.
They said, well, we have 7 doctors. You only have 1 doctor, so obviously we are correct.
It's like a card game of doctor versus doctor, but in real life. Like they have the real people as the chips.
Oh, man.
Or some stupid shit.
So,
oh, that guy was listening to some rad music.
all
I heard was "Kiss My Ass." That's all I heard.
So, in October, during the first trial...
I think he's going to take that car. You should move.
Do I need to move?
Yeah, you should move.
All right. We'll pause this real quick. All right. And let me get back to my place. Okay.
And we're on.
So, this is another one of my favorite parts. In October, during the first trial, jailhouse informant George Freeman. I cannot fucking read today, apparently.
It's okay. I've been watching too much boxing, man.
Jailhouse informant George Freeman was called as a witness and testified that Ray Bucky had confessed to him while they were sharing a cell. Freeman later attempted to flee the country and confessed to perjury in a series of other criminal cases in which he made up testimonies in exchange for favorable treatment by the prosecution.
Smart. For a while.
Most of these instances included Freeman making up stories about other inmates confessing crimes to him.
Yeah, that's exactly what I see. We were laying here, and he said, "Yeah, I did that shit."
And I said, "Whoa, dude, I should probably tell somebody."
Why did you bring me into this?
In order to guarantee his testimony during the McMartin case, Freeman was giving immunity to previous perjury charges.
Are you fucking serious?
They said, dude,
you sound like you're telling the truth on this one.
We will make sure that... Yeah, you say, this one sounds a little truthful.
It's like having a kid that lies all the time. So then you're like, Junior, you need to stop lying. And then you just expect every story to come out of his mouth to be the truth from now on.
On January 18th, 1990, the evidence of Miss Johnson's mental illness was made public.
Judy Johnson?
Yep.
She's dead now.
Right, but her lawyers hid the fact that she had mental illness.
So then they told everybody.
This swayed the already convinced jury to rule in favor of the defense.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, that's good. That's good.
Oh, it's a good thing.
Yeah, they said, yeah, we're already like halfway not believing this woman, and now we know she has mental illness. Did any abuse actually happen?
I was starting to get convinced that these people were retarded.
So,
Like,
after 3 years of testimony, Peggy Bucky was acquitted on all counts.
Bucky.
Ray Bucky was cleared on 52 of a total of 65 counts.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
And freed on bail after more than 5 years in jail. 9 out of the 11 jurors stated at a press conference that they believed that the children could have possibly been molested, but that the evidence did not allow them to state anyone had committed any abuse. So they said, basically, there could be a chance, because we don't want to discredit what the kids have said regarding abuse, but we can find no evidence that anyone abused them.
Plus, the cops' suggestive methods didn't help anything.
Right.
Thanks a lot, cops.
So Ray Bucky was later retried on 6 of the 13 counts of which he had not been acquitted of in the first trial. The second trial for Ray opened on May 7th, 1990. The prosecution eventually gave up trying to obtain a conviction, and the case was closed with all charges against Ray being dropped. He had spent over 5 years in jail without ever being convicted of a crime.
So,
Kind of like our justice system might be fucked up.
Well, I mean, from what I'm hearing, it just sounds like they rushed all of this.
Yeah.
They just rushed all of it.
So the media coverage of the trials, though, was genuinely skewed towards an uncritical acceptance of the prosecution's viewpoint.
Well, I mean, look at the information you're getting.
So David Shaw of the Los Angeles Times wrote a series of articles discussing the flawed and skewed coverage that had been presented by his own paper during the trial. These articles later won him the Pulitzer Prize for journalism.
Are you fucking kidding me?
He wrote an article saying, the paper I work for is a fucking joke. And he won the Pulitzer Prize for journalism.
That's fucking rad. You know, I wish I could do that at my job. Just like write a grievance of why the place sucks, because it does suck. We can all agree on that.
And they're all like, "Oh my God, Seth, you're awesome.
You're a genius. You're the new manager here, because you know that this place is terrible, and you'll admit it."
So further media coverage came when Wayne Satz, at the time a reporter for the Los Angeles ABC television station affiliate KABC, reported on the case and the children's allegations. Wayne presented an unchallenged view in support of the children's claims. Wayne later entered a romantic relationship with Key McFarlane, the social worker at the CII who had been interviewing the children.
Oh, it's all coming full
It's
circle.
all coming back around. Another instance of media conflict of interest during the trial occurred when David Rosenzweig, the editor of the Los Angeles Times, the one that David Shaw had written the piece about,
This guy's a piece of shit.
became engaged to Lael Rubin, the lawyer representing the children.
What kind of name? What kind of name is Lael? It sounds like you're just making a sound with your fucking mouth. Lael. We're gonna name her Lael.
So,
Last name after a sandwich, Reuben.
in 2005, after the school had been demolished and many of the accused parties had since died, one of the children, who is now an adult, retracted the allegations of abuse. The accuser's direct quote was, "Never did anyone do anything to me, and I never saw them doing anything to anyone else. I said a lot of things that didn't happen. I lied. Anytime I would give them an answer that they did not like, they would ask again and encourage me to give the answer that they were looking for. I felt uncomfortable and a little ashamed of the fact that I was being dishonest, but at the same time, being the type of person I was and being very young, whatever my parents wanted me to do, I went along with."
Okay. So it's really, whenever stuff like this happens, I find it very hard to
Blame the kids.
I find it very hard to blame the kids, and I also find it very hard to believe anybody about what actually happened.
Yeah. So,
Because it's just hard to fucking tell, man. Like,
so Mary A. Fisher wrote an article for the Los Angeles Magazine and explained that the case was invented and morphed into a national story because of the misplaced zeal of 6 people. The first person was Judy Johnson, a seriously mentally ill mother who had died of alcoholism. The second was Jane Hogue, the detective who investigated the initial complaints of abuse. The third was Key McFarland, the social worker who had interviewed the children.
naturally.
The fourth was Robert Filibosian, the district attorney over the trial, who was in a losing battle for re-election. 5 was Wayne Satz, the reporter who had first reported the case and presented the unchallenged viewpoint of the children. And 6 was Lael Rubin, the prosecutor who introduced a conflict of interest by becoming romantically involved with someone from the media. All in all, the case lasted for 7 years and cost taxpayers $15 million. The case holds the record for being the longest and most expensive court case in the history of the United States legal system. Despite holding these titles, no one was charged with any crime.
You know, whenever you started talking about Lael getting romantically involved with someone at the paper or what have you, I started picturing a woman with dark hair in a corset with pale buttery skin.
Buttery skin?
I don't know why. That just sounds like Lael to me, you know?
Like in a good way or bad way?
Like she's real hot.
You think Lael's attractive?
I feel like Lael was hot.
Well,
like Lael.
Let's see.
And it would also be fun to scream her name.
Lael! Lael! Oh, Lael!
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's find out.
Let's see. If she's...
It doesn't pull up for me because I don't have service. So
do I have my phone? I didn't bring it.
Okay.
I didn't think I'd need it, you know?
Here it goes.
I'm a real piece of shit.
No.
She's not hot?
Not at all.
God, dude. My dick does it again. That's why I don't listen to my wiener, guys.
It's just very, very average. That was her back then.
Oh, yeah, no.
So
The hair's what does it for me. Honestly.
yeah, I know.
Just kinda
Dude,
knocks it
it's
out
definitely
there
the 80s
I've
hair.
never understood why people liked that back in the day.
Well, I mean,
It looks like your hair's just a fucking tumbleweed.
well, I mean, it was different times because people are going to look back. Like, me personally, I like girls who straighten their hair. I like straight hair for whatever reason.
I just like the natural flow of hair.
And that's fine too, but at the same time, like,
I know what you mean, straightened hair.
straighten hair, I find it attractive.
It's hot too, yeah.
But that wasn't a thing like 15 years ago. It just now like became
Started
like a
happening
thing.
for some reason.
So people are going to look back, 20, 30 years from now, they're going to be like, why did they think that straight hair was attractive? Y'all are fucking dumb. You know
I
what
don't know,
mean?
man.
So,
because, the overall, like the basic Scandinavian woman has straight hair naturally. And they're held to high regards for hotness.
yeah, but like, you get what I'm saying though? Like, our culture changes. Like,
Oh my god, dude.
and the fact that generally people get more attractive as time goes on.
And the closer you get to Europe.
Like, you can look at a yearbook from like the 50s,
Yeah.
and you can find like a few attractive people in it.
It is weird, isn't it?
But then the 60s, you find more attractive people, the 70s more, 80s more, 90s more, and then when you get to like now, it's like, oh, you can find attractive people.
It's in the
Like,
food, dude.
on every page.
Yeah, on every page.
Like, every page of the fucking yearbook.
Oh god. Dude,
So-
can I just say something?
Yeah.
I want to end up in Sweden just because of the people. They all look like they're not real.
Yeah, they all,
They look too perfect.
even like, even the ugly ones still have like redeeming qualities.
It's like, what is going on in the water over here, dude? It's nice and cool over there.
I was going to say a lot of it is climate and environment.
Drugs are legal there, too. Fun fact. And have you noticed that you really don't hear anything bad coming out of Sweden?
Yeah.
I mean, all drugs are legal. They have a period in time where you can get your drugs. Like, they have the window.
Yeah.
And, you can't get your drugs after that window of time is up till the next day.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that, legalize drugs, and I'm not saying legalize drugs
I
because
am.
I'm not saying it. You took a hard stance. You're like, I am. I'm not saying it because I do drugs personally, because I really don't do a lot of drugs.
No, dude,
man.
legalize everything.
I do.
Just because alcohol is legal, does everybody drink?
No.
Cigarettes are legal. Does everybody smoke?
No.
Just because heroin is legal, do you really think that people are going to go by the millions just to try fucking heroin?
And it really shouldn't even be that heroin's legal. It should be that, you should be allowed to do whatever the fuck you want with your body.
Yeah, that's my thing.
I mean, they're letting you get tattoos.
Yeah, my whole viewpoint is do whatever the fuck you want as long as you don't hurt somebody else or put someone else in danger doing it.
Yeah, you're very libertarian. That's what I like about you.
I am very, very libertarian.
You seem to really understand. And you're not a homophobe like most libertarians, though.
See, because it all comes back to I can't tell you what to do.
You're also not a racist like most libertarians.
Yeah, see, that's the only bad thing. Like, whenever I say libertarian, that lumps me in the same group as, like, Ben Shapiro.
And Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, so, I'm not in... But there's also people like Jordan Peterson and Vince Vaughn and Bill Maher.
And Seth Tribbett.
So, I mean... The good definitely outweighs the bad.
Well, I mean, the whole thing that I thought, whenever I started labeling myself as a libertarian back in the day, I just thought, because I didn't really look much into it, I just thought that it meant you minded your own fucking business. That's what I thought.
Well, and essentially, when it was first becoming a thing, that's what it did mean.
Yeah, because I don't feel like I should be able to tell anybody what they should do with their body, especially when it comes to, like, abortion and stuff.
Yeah. Look, that's the thing, like... Me personally, I would not have an abortion, but I also
can't have an abortion.
Well, I mean, like
I'm just fucking with you. I know what you mean.
Like, yeah, like if I got a girl pregnant, me personally, which I mean, it would ultimately be their choice, but me personally, I would not want them to get an abortion. But I would not stop them if that is what they wanted to do.
You should get a flag made, and when you know that your wife is pregnant. If she can get pregnant or what have you, I don't know. But you should get a flag made. It's a little tiny one that says "We're keeping it." You should put it in your belly button, like a planet.
Oh man,
I like how we just got off topic. That wasn't. We need to bring it back in. I feel.
Well. Anyway, so yeah, let me repeat the last phrase.
I should have never called Lael hot.
Despite holding the title for the longest court case and the most expensive court case in the United States legal system, no one ever got charged with any crime.
What a waste of fucking time on everybody's behalf.
And with that, we're at like...
That was a really good story, though.
I know, dude. Oh, well, just wait till the next one, dude.
I'm excited already.
All right.
The cool thing about this, before we stop, is... we've been recording like 4 episodes back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
So we just get to hang out for like an hour to 2 hours just recording cool shit. And you guys get to listen to it if you choose to. So you're fucking welcome.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks for being part of the family. We're going to get coonskin hats made. We're going to send them all out.
Yeah.
We're going to get a merch store.
We'll see y'all next time.
See you in hell, bitches.